Talking to you.
All right, next up. Next up, we have.
He's just jealous.
All right, I know, right?
Two brothers.
You guys need to get separated.
Yes,
I think
the,
we should go back there.
All right. So, how to get a 50% show? I started recording, so we're on the same track. So, how to get 50% show is really in large part to the end of the year. There's a lot that goes into it, but we don't want to overwhelm you with too much. So, a couple of you may be asking, you know, I thought we have already gone over it the last part of the interview, or I thought we've already gone over Facebook Jumpstart. I thought we've already talked about the summer. We need to constantly remind you and build the culture and handle different sections of every area of the business so you guys know the ins and outs and the whys behind everything. So here's going to be the ending of the interview to help get a 50% plus show. So that's what we want, is always to get a 50% plus show to training because those are good stats. And Josh has been really, really good over the last 6 months, getting really good at this and doing the end of the interview. Some of you have done this. Some of you have never run an interview, but this will at least help you know for future when you are running interviews how to do it. So, Josh, go ahead and
Awesome.
Take it away, sir.
I don't need that. Cool. So, hey. Okay, cool. So I want to start off with, let's open this up here. Little quick presentation. Okay. So how many of you guys have run an interview before? Oh, all right. Cool, Fred. So Lexi, Daniel, have you run an interview before? No, not yet. Okay. All right. So this is really important. How many of you guys have seen an interview or watched your manager do an interview before? Bunch of them? Yeah? Okay, cool. And I know all this stuff is new for you, but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. So basically what this is if you guys have watched an interview or seen an interview before, which by the end of this you guys will, because I'm going to pretty much go through it with you guys. So this is it's pretty much the post-video speech. So when the video is done and you hear your manager talking, you see him going through a presentation, you guys remember that when you guys watched the video and you guys were done with the video and you saw the whole presentation, maybe you did a virtual interview, but maybe it was in an office. Do you guys remember all that? Yeah. Right? Do you remember the excitement that you got after that? Yeah. Especially like trying out the product, building the credibility of the team, you know, just feeling the energy in the office and everything. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's pretty much what that is. So I just want to go over a few more things. So again, what is the post-video speech? And it's pretty much just the slideshow with the speech going over, you know, building or describing more of the details of the job, more in depth, and just really giving them all the correct information. Because something that I like to say is the video that we show, it's a general video for the 300 plus offices nationwide, right? So what the post-video speech does is it really it builds credibility towards our office, and it gets them more of an understanding of what our culture is, who we are, what we're about, and really getting them excited about pretty much being a part of our team. So again, that's pretty much what I just covered there. And then let's see, why is this speech important? Why do you want to be doing this every single time you're running an interview? Because it increases the show. It builds proof. It shows them who we are, right? It goes more in depth on, you know, the staff, the leaders on the team, telling them more about us, how long we've been around, how many people we've worked with, all the success of our office, basically. And it just creates excitement. It's really fun, as you guys are going to see in a little bit. The more fun you have with it, the more likely the rep is going to be to show to training. Okay, just like a demo, actually. Yeah. So thanks, Ethan, for that. It's just like a demo. If you're excited on the phone, you know, with Mrs. Jones, and you're really sharing that, and they can feel that energy, then of course they're going to want to do a demo with you. And if you're excited and you're confident and you're having fun during the post-video interview speech, then of course they're going to want to work with you. They're going to see like, oh, these guys are awesome, right? Of course I want to work with them. And then it also gets a good chance to show how amazing Cutco is, because you don't want to just show how amazing we are. You also want to show how amazing Cutco is. We all know that Cutco is a phenomenal product. They have no idea what it is. How many of you guys knew what Cutco was when you came here? Maybe one or two of you, kind of. Yeah, exactly. So they have no idea what Cutco is when they're coming in. And it's a really great time to be showing them, hey, this is what our product is. this is why we're actually excited about these knives. You know, we're not just crazy knife people. Like, no, this is actually a phenomenal product, and people love this stuff. And just showing them that and building proof and building value. So what I want to do now actually is I actually want to go through the actual post-interview or post-video speech that we do. All right. So you guys have, so for those of you that have seen this slideshow, let's see, is the screen being shared right now? Can you see this, Lexi? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So you want to have all this stuff ready to go before the interviewee even walks in. So like, you know, if you're going to be an assistant, like if your manager tells you, hey, pull this stuff up, you guys will know what this is. So you always want this ready. So as soon as the video is done, I start out and say, all right, so that video is a general video for the 300 plus offices we have nationwide. So what I want to do now is I want to cover some more about our office, specifically more about us, our culture, who we are, a little bit about the product as well. So to start things off, some more perks about the job. So the first perk that we really focus on is the sample kit. So it's actually loaned out to all of our reps. This is not like one of those multi-level marketing companies, or definitely not a pyramid scheme, because those are illegal. You don't have to buy in. There's no down payments. There's no deposits, nothing like that. So our reps actually get all their supplies for free. So the training, the supplies, the kit, everything our reps need to be successful, they get for free. So it's completely free to start. And if a rep wants to purchase the kit, because Cutco is a phenomenal product, they can purchase it for a discount at $89 plus tax. Half our reps typically end up buying the kit, half return it. It's completely up to them. There's no pressure. So that's one of the perks to start off. And some more perks, let's see here. Some more perks, there's a lot of opportunity to earn free products. Now, you're probably going to hear me say this a lot, but Cutco, it's such a phenomenal product. And there's so many opportunities to earn free products, whether it's competitions, little incentives, awards here and there. There's so many chances to earn free product. And then we also have a lot of trips in, for top reps and managers. And really, anybody can end up qualifying for these trips. It's just who's willing to be putting in the work and the effort to get there, right? You know, it's really what you put into the job to be able to hit these trips, and they're a blast. I mean, a few months ago, we got back from Jamaica. So a lot of our top managers, they got back from the Cayman Islands. Our CSPs, Cutco sales professionals, they just got back from the Bahamas. So we have a lot of trips. It's just, again, who's willing to put in the work and the effort to get there. And another perk, we tell people, hey, it's a simple and comfortable start. Our reps, again, like you saw in the video, they're starting out with people they know so they can get good at the job. They have a comfortable and safe environment to really build their skills, build their confidence, and learn the presentation, learn the actual demo. So that way, when they're moving on to people they're more acquainted to or get recommended to, they have the confidence, they have the knowledge, they have the skill base to go on and crush it. And then advancement's actually pretty quick with our company. So me personally, I started as a rep back in 2017. Right after high school, worked my way up to management in just a few months. And actually, as soon as summer was over, I was already in training to be an assistant manager and pretty much learned how to run the business. So advancement is actually pretty quick with the company if that's something that interests you as well. And then the leadership and training experience that we offer, there's nothing like it out there. We like to do a lot of skills for life teaching, like your time management, your money management, communication skills, networking, personal growth and confidence. A lot of those things that are important in the real world, but sadly, not necessarily taught in the classroom all the time. So what's cool is we teach those right here, and you're actually able to apply those right away in the real world and get that real world experience. And then our culture, we're just a bunch of young, fun entrepreneurs. That's the best way I like to describe it. We're just a bunch of young, fun, positive energy, like-minded people going out and having fun. So those are some more perks about the job. And another huge perk is actually being able to work with Cutco. So how many of you guys heard about Cutco before again? Right? Okay, cool. So Cutco's actually been around since 1949, and it is the #1 product in its category. So what I have here actually is I got a few of the pieces that I can show you. And this here, this is not scripted by the way, but this here is where you would take out the pieces of Cutco and you'd show them. And a little tip is if you're having group interviews right now during the spring and fall, you might have like 1 or 2 people coming in for an interview. But when summer hits and you're running interviews for 5, 10, 15, possibly like 20 or more people, you want to be really targeting who are the people that you want to really be focusing on during the interview. So especially with this point right here, you want to be looking for, okay, who's the sharp person? Who's the really stellar person that I want to be cutting the rope, cutting the leather, and trying out the product, right? Because those are the people that you want to be impressing the most during your presentation. So if you're taking notes, which all of you should be, make sure you write that down. You want to be focusing during the presentation on who the top person is, so that during this section, I'm not going to cut the leather. You guys already all know that. But, you know, during this section here, when you're talking about the product, that's when you're cutting the rope, cutting the leather, showing them how awesome the product is, and getting them excited for it. And then, so once they do that, it's like, bam, look at that. That's awesome. They see how awesome Cutco is. So I'm like, cool. So Cutco, it's been around again since 1949. Again, it is the #1 product in its category. And like everything back in the 50s, used to be door-to-door sales. However, Vector came around in 1981, and we actually got rid of that. So no more door-to-door, or no more door-to-door, no more cold calling, nothing like that. Again, our reps are starting out with people that they know, getting referrals from them, and they're basically in business for themselves. We are, in fact, the #1 employer of college students. We work with about 60,000 students a year, and we are also a national sponsor of DECA and do host the All-American Scholarship. So that's pretty cool. And then, speaking of scholarship, internships and scholarships, these are actually some of the people that have gone pretty far in our office, and I wanted to cover a little bit as well. I'm not going to go through everybody just for time's sake, but just to give you an idea, I'll go through some of them. So to start off, we have Kevin Gracioni here. So he actually used to go to St. Norbert. Do you guys know where St. Norbert is? Yeah, right? Okay, cool. So you know it's a private Catholic school, pretty expensive. I hear it's anywhere between like $30,000 or $40,000 tuition a year. So what's cool is Kevin Gracioni, he actually managed to graduate debt-free after just 3 years of working with us, which is pretty crazy. And he went on to get his real estate license and pretty much owns his own real estate business now, which is pretty cool. And Morgan Scheider as well. So she's from the Winneconne area. She actually started a couple of years ago. And to give you an idea how flexible this job is, her first summer working with us, she had over 40 hours a week getting her CNA license. So already she had a full-time schedule. And on top of that, she was an assistant. So she was in the office a few days of the week, you know, helping recruit, train, develop people. But around all of that, she still made 10 grand that summer, which is pretty cool. So that just gives you an idea how flexible the job actually is. And then also we have Vernon B. Williams V here. So he's actually kind of a fun story. His first summer, he absolutely sucked. He was pretty bad, pretty terrible. He sold our company average order is about $250. He sold a grand total of $527 his first summer. So pretty bad, right? He quit, thought it wasn't for him, but he actually came back because, you know, he was like, okay, all right, I'm actually going to give this thing a try. I'm actually going to show up. I'm actually going to work. I'm going to listen to the manager. I'm going to follow the program. And what do you know? He actually got really good. And now he's one of the top people in his category. Last year alone, he sold over 200 grand worth of Cutco, and he makes straight half commissions, by the way. And then right there, I just kind of pause and let that sink in, right? Because then they're just like mind blown, which is pretty cool. So, and then I talk about Filkowski at the end there. You can't see that because you guys are blocking it on the Zoom call. But I talk about Filkowski at the end there, and I say he's a beast. He's from he graduated from UW Oshkosh with a business and marketing degree, and he actually holds our fast start record, which is the first 10 days of a rep sales. He sold over 15 grand in his first 10 days. He made over $3,500 right off the bat. And I pause again. And then I explain, now this isn't everybody, right? But it just goes to show you that if someone's willing to put in the work, put in the effort, and put in the time, they can go pretty far with us. So after that, so this is some of our staff actually. So obviously a good looking guy on the top there, you know that's me. I already explained my story, but just to introduce you to a little bit more about our staff here, we have, to start off, we have Lake and Matt. So these guys actually ran offices last summer. Lake specifically, his office was one of the top 10 in the nation, which was pretty cool. Ended up buying a BMW, won a trip to the Cayman Islands, paid off a lot of his student loans as well, or student debt, which is pretty cool. So he's actually graduating from St. Norbert as well, and he's actually going to be opening up a year-round district office in Green Bay this summer. So that's Lake. And then Matt and Kaylee are from the Chicago area. So what's cool is during the summer or the spring and fall, they're actually helping out in our office. We're kind of blessed with their presence and everything. So Matt, he ran an office last summer, and Kaylee, she's actually just signed her lease actually, which is pretty cool for her office this summer. So she's running an office this summer. And then the rest of our staff here, we have Wiley, Mariah, Sadie, and Ethan, basically in training right now to be really kick-butt assistants over the summer. So this is just our staff. This is not our whole team, but just to give you an idea who you'd be working with if we decide to bring you on. And then, initially speaking of bringing people on, if we do decide to bring you on, this is what you could expect from initial training. Now, it's pretty much a free business and marketing course. It's right here, 2 consecutive days right here in our office. And what's cool is as soon as training is done, you'd be able to start out and do those practice appointments right away. Starting out with like family and friends, really getting good at the job and building your skills, building your confidence, so that when you go on after our advanced training series, you're able to learn more advanced tips, get better at the job, and really go out and crush it. And then after all that, we do have something called field training as well. So what's cool is reps are actually able to go with each other on presentations and learn from each other and help each other grow. And it really builds that family type culture that we have around here as well. And then we do have daily communication as well. Basically, what that means is we don't require our reps to work out of the office daily. That would kind of suck. But what we do require is daily communication, just so we know what's going on with our reps, if they need help with anything, if they need any specific coaching, also to know what their schedule is like, so we know what their demos. So basically, we know what their demo schedule is like, and if they need help with those, we're able and we're available to help them out. And we do have team meetings. So the only time our reps really are required to be in the office is typically a Wednesday night or Saturday morning for team events and functions, getting the team together, having fun, learning, growing, making money, and doing something fun afterwards, all as a team. Again, building that family type team culture that we have around here. And we do have conferences. What's cool is summer's coming up. Those are pretty awesome. Conferences are typically a summer thing. Picture the energy and the way I like to describe it is picture the energy you felt when you walked in the office. Now multiply that by like a good 400 or 500, right? Just a ton of crazy, young, fun entrepreneurs just getting together and learning and growing together at this professional conference and really just having a blast. And also, it's not too shabby having a $250 million business conference on your resume. It's not too bad. So that's what initial training, that's what you could expect from initial training. And the best perk, in his opinion, of course, is you get to work with Jason. So what's cool is, one too many there. So what's cool is Jason, he actually started as a rep back in 2004 while attending UW Whitewater. And he's personally sold over 300 grand worth of Cutco. He made over $100,000 throughout college, graduated debt-free, and opened up here in the Fox Valley area. He's responsible for over $13 million, almost $14 million in business now. He's trained well over 2,000 representatives. He's in the Cutco Hall of Fame. Yes, that's a real thing. It's actually pretty cool. And then he's also the author of a book called Conquer the Post-College Fashion Slump. Definitely a great book. I strongly recommend it. Founder of Daily Life University as well. Now, I don't explain this to impress you. It's more to impress upon you that if we decide to bring you on, you'd be trained by literally the best manager in the history of Wisconsin. Pretty cool, right? Awesome. So that's Jason. And right now we're working to build a championship team. We're really getting things going, getting things moving for summer. And what we look for in our people are people with a positive attitude, a strong work ethic, someone who's coachable, willing to learn, has that open mind, and who's willing to follow our program as well. And also 18 years or older or high school graduate. Pretty simple, right? Okay, awesome. So that's more about us. Now, okay, also during this, so that's the ending of the slideshow. Now there's one more thing here, and that's getting the interview PRs that you guys are hearing about. You guys all know what interview PRs are, right? No? Okay. They're kind of like recommendations, because management is kind of like another form of a demo. The end of this interview speech that you give here, this is where you collect those PRs, okay? Now, do you guys remember that sheet that you had that you were filling out if you came in for an in-office interview? You guys remember those? Yes. Yeah. No? Okay. All right. Well, there's also a sheet that you're going to be giving to the reps or the trainee or interviewees as they're following along with the video. And what I tell them is, all right, cool. So now focus on filling out the bottom portion and the short answer. Now, if you flip to the back of the sheet here, this is actually pretty cool. And if there's any PRs in the room or people that were recommended, I tell them, hey, this is how you heard about the job, right? So what we find that friends, they work a lot better with friends. Not only does it create a more positive environment, but also creates some pretty awesome competition. So if you know anybody looking for fun, flexible work, we'd love to get them in and get them some more information. We can't guarantee them a spot, but if they know you, can definitely guarantee them an interview. I actually know this one guy who, he filled out the sheet right away. I thought he was done. Yes, it's this sheet right here, actually. Thank you, Jason. This sheet right here. And then let's flip to the back. That's where they fill out the interview sheet or the PRs as well. So anyway, I also like to give an example, right? Because, you know, you want to be giving examples of people filling out the sheets during these. And typically, like, I usually get people that fill out the sheet all the time. This is kind of like asking for recommendations again. So I give an example, and it's actually TJ because he's actually my record for interview PRs. So I tell them about TJ. I'm like, so I was interviewing this one guy, this guy this one time, and he actually filled out the entire sheet, zipped through in like 5 minutes or so. Not too much time at all. I thought he was done, but so I come in and check on him. He's like, hey, can I get like 5 more of those sheets or something? He actually ended up filling like 5 or 6 sheets out. I think the record is about 64 PRs. So if you're looking to break some records, that's the number to hit. Otherwise, take as much time as you need. I'll throw in some music so it's not like awkwardly quiet while you guys are working. Definitely take as much time as you need. If you need another sheet, just let me know. And then afterwards, either me or one of the other assistants will be able to bring you back individually, go over some things, and see if it's a good fit. Sound good? Awesome. And that's pretty much the post-interview speech. And I throw in some music, let them work, fill out the PR sheet, and then that's pretty much it for that. So do you guys have any questions for me on the slideshow or the importance of it or how to get PRs? None of you guys have earned interviews. You should ask questions. This would be the time to ask them. You guys have questions? Yes.
So you said in the bigger interviews, you kind of select a few people.
Yeah.
Specifically cutting leather. How many would you say? Like,
I would say,
so you don't like want
yeah.
to make it obvious and have the same like one person. Just like,
Yep.
You like, don't want to make it obvious. Like target them. So
yeah,
how many
exactly.
people would you?
So if there's a bigger interview section, if it's like 3 or 4 people, all of them can cut it. But if it's like 10 plus or, you know, like maybe even more than 5 people, I guess it really just depends on the size of the interview. If it's between like 5 and 10, maybe like 2 or 3 people. But if it's like, I don't know, I guess really if it's over 5, if it's between 5 and 10 plus people in the interview, just focus on like 2 or 3 people that are really good. And you want them to see, you want to not only have just one person showing excitement, but you also want everybody else to, you want other people showing excitement in the interview. So like, you know, not just one person is cutting it and really showing them, here, what am I trying to find the best way to explain this. Let's see. You just want multiple, the more proof you have from a bigger interview, the more people are going to get excited, if that makes sense. Right. So if you have like a group of 15 people, you want to do like 3 or 4 people cutting the leather or cutting the rope. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, cool. Other questions? You're thinking. You got a question.
Not really. I think you did a really good job though.
Awesome. Jason, yes.
So an observation. So Josh is the dom. So this is training the interview are the manager's demo, right? Getting personal recruits and recommendations in the interview and then in training is like manager's recommendations, okay? So, of course, I didn't challenge Josh. I texted you about this, but I challenged him like, hey, I know you don't need this script, but these guys should probably see the script so you're not so nervous to think, oh my gosh, look at how good and confident he is up there. He just flows through it. So, getting at that, you want to know this so well, like your demo, like so again, you know this very well. If you're a manager running a lot of interviews, know this well. But think if your demo was as confident and smooth as Josh just went over that, right? That's his demo as the division office manager. This is his main job with interviews and training. So I just want to commend Josh on that and help you guys realize that's great. Now also related to some of you guys just doing demos, right? Is your demo that good? If you just started, don't worry about it. It'll take you like 30 or 40 demos. But like, are your recommendations that confident? Is your script that on? So
yeah,
just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point because I was planning on holding a script or having a script. I just completely blanked on that. But anyway, so when you guys are holding a script, you guys are going to have a script on you, and it's a good idea if you're so management is very much like a demo, and it comes down to like those fine points. Even in the interview, when you guys are starting out and doing your first interviews, you can tell them, just so you know, guys, I'm going to be using my notes or my script here just to make sure I give you all the information and not miss anything. And that's almost exactly like saying, Mrs. Jones, do you mind if I use my manual since I just started? Right? So like management, it's kind of like just another demo. It's another thing you're learning and getting better at. And it's just realize that the more you do, the better off you're going to be. And speaking of the script, you want to be confident with this, right? You want to be standing tall, right? You don't want to be slouching. You don't want to be like standing, like you don't want your hands in your pocket. You don't want to be swaying back and forth too much, right? You want to be standing tall, confident. You want the script right here so it kind of like reflects back on you, brightens you up, if that makes sense, right? You want to be standing tall, confident, shoulders back, looking good. You want to be the best and most confident looking person in that entire row. You do not want your interviewees to outlook you, right? You want to be just dressing like Jason if you're going to be running an interview, right? Don't look at, like, don't dress like this unless, it's a sweater that the guys are wearing. But, like, you don't know that. So you always want to come to the office prepared. You always want to come to the office looking good, looking sharp. Always, if you're an assistant, if you know you're going to be running interviews, at least a shirt and tie, at least. But you should have a jacket on, all right? Cool. All right. Any other questions, comments, observations? Anything from Lulzern or Lexi? No?
What do you guys think? So at the end of that, what do you think the applicants think? So applicants coming in, they're new and they're nervous, right? Unsure what the job even is. They watch the video interview, and they see that. What do you think are some things they're thinking at that point? Yeah.
This is a lot better than I thought.
Whoa, it's pretty cool. I've never had a job. This is a job. I've never had a job like this, right? Right. Totally. What else?
It's a pretty friendly environment.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of great faces and a big team, right? Some of you who may be starting off your own office in the next year or two, or maybe you're in a quiet time of the year where it's just you and one other person in the office. That's what the applicant thinks. That's what like Vector is. But they need to see the big picture, whether they're in an interview with one person or with some interviews this summer with like 20 people. That's where you're going to help out as well with your manager to help facilitate those. Yep. So get that. They also see, okay, I have direction, right? Like I have some great people to learn from, right? Okay. What are a couple other things? Yes.
Who is this Jason guy? 13 million? 300,000?
Sure. So whether you're an office that promotes that as the division manager, or your manager has a local slide, that's great. So they have confidence. So they're being hired to come to training, to get trained by this Liz person, this Lake guy. Like, is that even his real name? Right? Like, it's like they have confidence in that. Yep. Cool. That's good.
Awesome. Anything else? No? Sweet.
No. Sweet. Thanks, Josh.
Cool.
Oh, I have one.
Oh.
How many of these do you think that you did to like get that good?
How many demos do you think you did before you got good?
I have no idea.
Right? It takes practice. Don't expect to be good right away, right? You just want to go in and be like, all right, I got this. I own this. Like, I'm the best interview. Like, literally, when I'm about to do an interview, I'm telling myself, I'm getting into a mental state. I'm telling myself, hey, all right, like, I'm the best that there is, right? Even if I'm not, I'm still telling myself mentally, preparing myself, getting ready. So I'm jacked, I'm psyched, I'm ready. I'm like, all right, this is going to be awesome, right? I'm going to make them laugh. They're going to smile. They're going to have fun. And they're going to want to work for me.
Also, they have no idea what you're supposed to say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
And you have the job that they're applying for. So
yeah. Basically what Lake and Liz said were, Lake said they have no idea what you're supposed to say. You know the information. They have no clue, right? They don't know that you're starting out or it might be your first interview. They have no clue. So you want to own the place. Act like it's your office and like you own the place and you're the boss. And basically what Liz said is they're the people applying for the spot that you have and not even the spot you have, because if you think about it, right, they're applying for the rep spot. You're already an assistant, right? That means you got on key staff, you're past the AM intern spot, and you're already an assistant running interviews, right? They're not even applying for the spot you have because you're so advanced compared to them, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You want to have that confidence in the interview.
Cool. Right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you very much. Cool. Emily, it's great to have your notes out. You look at any like speakers, a lot of them have their notes, and that's important too. All right, cool. So what we're gonna do now is, what's next? So drill first skill, and then let's see.
Let me stop this recording here too, so it's not continuing.